Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian. This is a rare face reveal video, whatever you know. This is a response to Banter 247's. He made an open tag out of, I think, one of JT's Knife Lights videos. Honestly, I will admit I have not gone back and watched those because I kind of wanted to do this. I got the theme of it, and I kind of wanted to do it fresh without copying what anybody else did for it. So I have not watched those yet. But this is kind of the story of why this channel exists and how I got started. So it's not gonna be a whole lot of visuals. That's kind of why I'm doing the face thing. I almost didn't do it facing the camera because it is kind of an emotional story for me. So I apologize in advance if I get a little verklempt during this. It is kind of a sad story that wound up being a good one. So if you guys don't know my background, I've mentioned it before. I review bicycles for a living currently. That's my main job. I'm also a stand-up comic, and I do some TV and like podcasting type stuff. I used to review cell phones for Wired.com. I wrote some other stuff for Wired.com. I've reviewed just about everything. I write for other bicycle magazines. I do all kinds of product reviews. Have for 20 years. You just kind of take what you can get. I've mostly been freelance, except for I own my own website, bentrideronline.com. If you're interested in recumbent bikes, that's my main business. Go check that out. I'll link to it down below. And I've been doing that, as I said, for like 20 years. I've been reviewing stuff. It's always been something I've enjoyed doing, and I think that I'm fairly decent at. I try to hit a level of where I give enough technical information without it being really hard to understand, and try and be a bit amusing during it too. That's kind of what I've always done. Through that, I got into public speaking a lot. I had to go to bike shows and stuff and bike rallies, and they'd have me talk, and got comfortable in front of a microphone, and that's how I wound up doing stand-up. So kind of everything that I do now has come just from, in a weird way, from doing these silly bike reviews, and it's kind of just exploded. What happened to make me start this channel was it's always pretty dead during the winter, bike industry obviously, and I'm currently based out of upstate New York, so I try and bank a lot of reviews over the summer and space them out over the winter so that I don't have to go ride when it's 20 degrees out. I don't get paid to ride bikes anymore. I used to semi get paid. I was a semi-professional mountain bike racer, and I used to get paid to ride, and I would ride in this weather. But now when it's I don't get paid for it anymore, other than paying myself if it's 20 degrees out. I don't like to ride anymore. I will if I absolutely have to, but it's not something I enjoy. So I don't shut the business down over the winter, but things definitely slow down. I do more editorial type stuff and things like that. But October of 2017, I was starting to hit my slowdown period. I was kind of into knives at that time. I did have at the time, I still have it. This was what I carried the most by far. Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight. I'd had this for probably 5 or 6 months at that point. I'd had a few other ones before that. I had like a Tenacious and a few CRKTs. I probably still had those at that point. I don't remember. And a Benchmade automatic that I wound up with from my time in the Air Force. But I was really starting to get into it more, starting to use knives more, and really kind of enjoying carrying around. And I was starting to kind of get into the whole EDC thing. I started finding myself, I think it's just one of those things as you get older. I just passed 40, and I was kind of, you kind of get into more carrying stuff around. And I like any hobby with accessories. I always have. That's part of the reason what got me into bike stuff. Any hobby that you can go buy little things for, I like. It's good. It's fun. It's just a fun thing to do. And I started watching more and more YouTube videos and knife reviews and stuff, and I really enjoyed a lot of them. Some of the first people I started watching were Nick Shabazz, of course. I think kind of everybody starts there. Nothing Fancy at the time. I don't watch that one as much anymore. I still think he does good work, but his taste have veered off of mine. JT's Knife Life, I watched that back in the day. He was pretty new back then, but I always really liked his stuff, and now we're friends, which I like. And Nick and I are friends too, so it's cool. But I started watching all these videos, and I thought, and not in an arrogant way, this is going to sound like an arrogant way, but I was watching those videos, and I kind of had in the back of my head, maybe I could do that. I think maybe this is something I could do. I have experience reviewing stuff. I've experienced talking on camera. I think maybe I could give this a shot. And it was kind of something I just thought about, but I was probably never going to do. And then now this becomes the sad part, and it's a story about a dog. And this one, I hope the picture shows up. This is Blue, my Australian cattle dog, which I loved more than any other animal ever. Had her for 11 great years. She was just the most amazing dog. Too smart for her own good, for sure. That was frustrating. If you guys have ever owned a cattle dog or any working dog, they're wicked smart and difficult. I mean, she would knock over the trash can, take out what she wanted, put the trash can back upright and put the lid back on it. And you'd come home and there'd be trash everywhere, but the trash can was still upright and fine. And she just looked at you like, what? I don't know what happened. But she was amazing. Herded the kids around, you know. The kids knew her since they were little kids. And if you yelled at the kids, she'd nip at them and make them go sit on the couch and sit there and watch them and make sure they sat there. And she was just an amazing, amazing animal. About the same time, about early October, we knew she had a bad hip. She got hurt when she was 6 months old, and it just never really healed right. And but it finally started getting bad, where it didn't really seem to slow her down most of her life, but it got to a point she couldn't get up on off the bed and all that stuff. And took her to the vet and had to put her on some pain meds. And as best we can tell, she had some kind of liver or kidney failure or something from the pain meds. No fault of the vet. It's just, you know, something that happens. And she was terrible at the vet. She always bit at the vet. She was just awful. So we couldn't take her to the vet a whole lot because she got just vicious and mean and horrible at the vet. And so we had to just not take her. We took her sparingly, you know, and our vet understood that, and our vet agreed with us, you know, because she got him once, you know, she bit his hand once, he had to get stitches, and I felt really horrible about it. So, but he's the best vet in the freaking world, by the way. If you're ever in Rochester or New York and you need a vet recommendation, email me, because he is amazing. But he did what he could, and then it became apparent after, less than a month after she got on the pain meds, something wasn't right, and the pain wasn't getting any better. If the only way we could keep her, you know, comfortable was to basically have her knocked out, and I couldn't see her like that anymore. And finally had to make the decision to put her down, and I took her in, and her last act on this earth, they gave us the drugs to drug her up before we left, so I had to carry her. You know, we gave her some stuff, put it in some food. We got to say goodbye at home. It was very nice and peaceful. By the time I took her to the vet, she was, you know, 90%, you know, knocked out. She didn't know what was going on. And I picked her up, carried her around, you know, in and out. I got her out of the car into the vet, and we had her laying there, you know, and he was ready to administer the medication. And I thought, well, just to be safe, I don't want her to bite you. I'm going to put a muzzle on her in case she wakes up. And because when she wakes up, she's going to bite whoever's there. Well, while I was putting the muzzle on her, she woke up for half a second. She didn't know what she was doing, and she bit my hand hard. It was very bad. Blood everywhere. Turned out I wound up with a cracked bone in my thumb, and the scars aren't impressive. So I wish the scars were more impressive. But if you watch some of my early videos, you can see my hand's kind of scarred up and my thumb's all swelled up. Thumb still doesn't work 100% right. It's probably 90% right, but it's not good. Like, I can't crack this knuckle anymore. It's weird. She cracked the bone there, and you know, it got all the way to the bone. Pretty bad bite, and then I really couldn't work. You know, I couldn't type. Like, my hand was that mangled up. She got me on the thumb, and then also she nicked a tendon here, kind of like right around there in my hand, and couldn't really type. I could still fiddle with a knife though, and I kind of had to, and I was upset, you know, about the dog. So I took some time off of comedy because I was upset, and I took some time off of work because I couldn't, and it was wintertime anyway, and now we're approaching Thanksgiving holiday season where nothing really happens in the bike industry. So I decided, hell, I'm going to shoot some videos. I can't do anything else, and I can't just sit here and be sad about my dog. So I'm gonna do something else, and started making videos, and it took off way faster than I ever thought it would. I'm very appreciative of all my subscribers and just how well it's gone. I know that the channel has grown very quickly, and I do often get asked, what did I do to make that happen? I didn't do anything. I just made videos. That's it. Make good content. I've done nothing. I've not spent a dime to promote this thing. I've spent money buying knives, obviously, at the beginning to get good content. I do less of that now. I think I probably break even as far as that goes, because I can get stuff for wholesale now that I'm somewhat known and can do that kind of stuff. And I can just ask companies to loan me stuff, and they'll just loan me stuff, which is great. And I love that. And now the channel does turn a bit of a profit. Not a lot, but it's a nice little side gig, I guess. I hope it winds up being even bigger in the future, and I see avenues that it will. I'm going to try some things that some other people I don't think have done on YouTube yet as far as that kind of stuff goes. But we will see in the future how that goes. But it's been a very rewarding experience. I love all the people that I've met. It was a big, big help back when the channel first started, and I just was here depressed because I lost my best friend, and I got to meet all these great people, and it really did help alleviate the pain. My hand still hurts when it's cold out, but other than that, it helped alleviate the pain a whole lot. And I just want to thank you guys and for supporting me. And in a way, the last words I said to my dog were thank you, because she just was amazing. And thank her for this too. Thanks, Blue. Sorry about that. I can't talk about it again. I'm sad. It's been a while, but it still hurts. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this little explanation of how I got the channel started and what happened. I think it's kind of a unique story. I know a couple other ones that are probably going to respond to this also have similar stories of just a bad thing happening and them trying to use YouTube to turn it into a good thing. And, you know, that's definitely what my story was. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.